Welcome to Coming About with David Paragamian, the podcast that dives deep into the minds of leaders who have transformed their businesses and industries, paving the way for a better future. Here's Dave.
I'm back with healthcare marketing veteran and executive vice president and media director at Deerfield, Bill Veltre. Bill, we've been talking about your journey from first grade teacher to becoming one of the true thought leaders and greats in our business. And you've pivoted from the agency side to the client side and now back to the agency again. So let's talk about some of those career highlights. Is there an example of some work that you're particularly proud of, that you hold dear in terms of work that was done on behalf of patients and for a brand?
I do. From my first project on Crestor, AstraZeneca account, working with an amazing client and an amazing account team at the creative agency, which we were a part of. We were a small media team as a part of it. And I will always remember the collaboration from brand planning all the way through to execution and measurement, and our ability to tell a holistic story. And even though we weren't always winning in the category, we worked our butts off to make sure that everything came to market in a timely manner. We met all of the deliverables, and we always had glowing recommendations and reviews. So I think collectively, we were just a unit, one collective unit. Second to that is the work on the brand, Ubrelvy and Qulipta. Bringing both of those products to market was, a huge learning experience for me. My first time on the client side. So really learning commercialization from the ground up. And when a brand is yet to be named, and being able to take part in understanding how the label is actually going to come together, and talking about how the trials went and the details that went into the trials. It's just mind-blowing to know that you can go from that to full commercialization, have a huge superstar be your spokesperson, and also see the trajectory of your brand grow with that forecast being met so early in both of their life cycles. I'm so proud of both of those campaigns, and the work that we did again as a unit, one team, collectively, agencies, media partners, and clients working for a collective goal to bring a treatment to, market for folks dealing with migraine.
Oh, that's a great story. And I think for whether it's you or I and our families or for the listener, when you know someone that suffers from migraine, it can be debilitating and life-changing. And both of those therapies from AbbVie, Qulipta and Ubrelvy, are wonderful therapies, very innovative. And I think anything that can add value, because so many of those patients, there's a large number of patients that are suffering, sort of self-treating. Then there's some subset of that goes into the doctor sends them home with an OTC. They come back, they try something, it doesn't work. So there's this cycle that the patient goes through to finally get to the medication that's right for him or her. And so I think being part of that, as you said, from start to finish, really understanding the science and the labeling, and how the product was launched, so much more than a really wonderful ad campaign. And it is a wonderful ad campaign, but it's so much more in that value chain to bring it to market. That's fantastic. So Bill, as you think about your new role, you've joined a new agency, very impressive agency with a very unique proposition of how they partner with clients. What are you excited about being able to partner with clients and brands in the new role?
So in the new role and working at Deerfield, the one piece that I'm really excited about is their value proposition and being an unbiased agency. And I love the way that they've positioned themselves, because they can be the add-on agency to an existing relationship with your existing AOR. They can be your AOR. And they also do special projects all the time. And they've built their business on providing extraordinary work at extraordinary value. And it's something that, as a client, I remember I stressed over, being able to understand how to work with an agency and extract the most value without breaking the bank, and also making sure that we were hitting all of the milestones that we needed to hit. And Deerfield really has founded itself on being that true partner, founded by people who are industry folks, who came from the client side, worked on the partner side. They understand all facets of our business. And I think it just matched my profile. And what I'm looking forward to, I think, for the media department is the ability to establish us as a unique offering in the space with my expertise and the opportunity that we have with our current client roster and future client roster to grow our capabilities to the future and, what ultimately media can do for more and more patients as we move forward.
Oh, that's exciting. Well, I'm anxious to see. I know it's new for you. It's been a handful
So
of
new.
I'm excited to see the chapter that you're about to write because I know that you are truly, as I said at the outset, one of the industry stars. I saw you present at Digital Pharma East last fall, and it was so compelling as you spoke a little bit about the future and the impact of generative AI. And I'd like to sort of end our conversation on some of those future-leaning things, Bill, because I do believe you're one of those visionaries. Let's talk a little bit about some of the changes that you have seen and that you think will continue to be a big part of the business, whether that's omni-channel, whether it's AI. You take me where you want to take me, but I definitely think your perspective on these future-leaning things would be really great to hear.
From my perspective, fundamentals are key. You have to be doing the fundamentals well. And unfortunately, we have a lot of brands and we have a lot of marketers in our industry who struggle with the knowledge set in order to understand how the fundamentals can really help your business. In order to do omni-channel, the fundamentals have to be deeply rooted, a foundation that you can build upon. Omni-channel is the connectivity of all of those individual channels and the data that is outputted by them in order to drive additional engagement. Omni-channel, I think, is an overused word. I think we overcomplicate it. It's super complex, right? We make it something that it's not. At the end of the day, it's connection. And the ability that we have to connect strategy to the next execution and ultimately impact. I do think that AI will have a great impact on our ability to do our jobs. And what I mean by that is I don't think that AI is going to limit the number of people. I think what it's going to do is it's going to help us grow our capabilities to a level that we haven't seen before. It's going to allow us to do the things that we always thought would be nice to do or nice to have, make them faster and easier and more efficient for our businesses. I do think, though, that, there's some hesitation in our industry. I think I've faced it already in my roles previous, where, there is some inauthenticity around AI. And, I think that a lot of pharma is going to be reactive to the fact that change is hard. We are not very good at change. In addition to that, inauthentic change may be even harder. But getting everyone on board for the creative that may spur out of AI, it's going to take a little while. I think it's going to take a lot of testing and learning, but it's not something that's new to our industry. We've tested and learned our entire time in existence, right? Think about our evolution from television to watching video on your mobile device and how we, use that treatment differently. We have the ability to test and learn with AI, and I think that there's a lot of opportunity for pharma clients to think about where they want to be, what's the ideal end goal, and test and learn until they get there. From an operational perspective, though, I think that, hands down, it is going to be something that, shakes our industry at the core, makes us much better at what we're doing, and ultimately drives more impact. If I couldn't say it enough, I think impact is what and where our focus should always be. So as long as AI is doing that, I'm all for it, and I can't wait.
Bill, over the course of this conversation, I think you said something earlier about how vocabulary is important. And there's a bunch of words that I I'm going to take away an underscore coming away. So we're never going to use the word vendor again. You and I were going to agree. That word we buried 30 minutes ago. And
What word?
Exactly. And I do love the fact that you've sort of demystified. You're right. So many people see omnichannel as this big hulking, it's intimidating. Really, it's about thinking holistically, as you say, about the business. The same way we don't need to be intimidated by AI. And AI is going to be a powerful enabler. It's not here to eat your job, my job, and her job. It's here to help all our jobs. And I think it will be part of the next transformative chapter to make us better. I mean, I thought you hit that theme last fall really well at the keynote there at Digital Farming East, and I think you've hit it here. So before we gather the threads and close, one of the things I can't help but reflect on is for a journey that is still ongoing, because I know that even all that you've accomplished, even bigger things are ahead for you, but you've already made some brave pivots, right? From school teacher to ad agency to pharma company, back to this advertising agency now as a key leader of the organization running the media group. If you look back now on that career journey, is there any advice that you have for your 20-year-old self? And I'm thinking, of course, obviously for the listener that's listening into you and me, is there any advice now with the wisdom of all of those twists and turns and pivots that have taken you so successfully, but I'm sure you agonized about some of those twists and turns along the way? Any advice for the young Bill Veltre that you'd have?
I think my advice for the young Bill Veltre would be success is not quantified by dollars. It's quantified by engagement, trust, integrity, partnership, and for passion for what you do. And I think every day that when I entered the workforce, I thought that I had to make a lot of money in order to be successful. I don't think money is success. I look at the amount of patients that I've been able to impact over my career. I wish there was a way to add it all up. I think about it all the time. All of the brands I've worked on, how many lives I potentially touched or impacted without even knowing, that is success.
That's so beautifully put. I mean, it really is. And it could come down to, even if you and I, we only touch one, right? Even if we only touch one in that human way that helped make their journey and their treatment better. And I know we've done more than that. I know you've done more than that. I think that's what matters. And, you know, for me, that's the authenticity of why some pharmaceutical companies that you and I know and respect, what's hanging in the lobby is pictures of patients. And I also think for someone like yourself that's leading a department of people, don't neglect the fact, Bill, that you're touching and improving the lives of these men and women that get a chance to work for you. I know that you are adding value to their lives too. So I can't tell you how much I appreciate you spending time with us here on Coming About, and the authenticity and honesty of all the stories that you've told. And I really mean it. I think that the journey that I've watched so far, there's more acts in this play, and it's going to be an awesome play. So keep being fantastic, Bill. And thanks so much for spending time with me.
Thanks, Dave, for having me. I really appreciate it. I definitely wouldn't be here without all of the amazing mentors in my career. There's, again, so many amazing folks in our industry, and I am so grateful for the partnerships and relationships that I have with all of you. And every pivot is so important that I've taken. I feel like I've become an expert at pivots, and I'm ready to take Deerfield and pivot to the next bit of success.
Fantastic. We'll leave it there, and thank you very much, Bill.
Thanks a lot, Dave.
You're so welcome, Bill. And that wraps up another episode of Coming About. If you like the show, please take a moment to subscribe so you'll get notified of future episodes and catch up on any of the ones you may have missed. And if you have a moment, I'd love if you left us a review so that other folks like yourself can learn about the show. I'll see you next time.
This has been Coming About. We hope these conversations have left you feeling empowered and ready to take your organization to the next level. To speak with Dave about your business transformation or to learn more about Health Monitor Network, go to healthmonitornetwork.com. And don't forget to check out his book, Coming About: How We Transformed a Major Media Company and the Lessons There for You. Available wherever books are sold. Coming About with David Paragamian is a production of Advantage Audio.